Welcome back to the Film and TV channel. Today we're going to have a look at a film, a psychological drama. This film written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, in her feature directorial debut. It's called The Lost Daughter. So we're going to have a look at that today, please. If you are new to the channel, we have monetized the channel now, so if you can watch any of the ads or follow any of the links, it does help this channel going forward, and it will be much appreciated by me if you can do that. And please, any thumbs ups are always welcome if you enjoy what you see. I try and do an overall look at it with other people's other critics' reviews, etc., just summations, and then my own little thoughts on it. 121 minutes, so it's quite long. Didn't seem that long actually watching it, so that's usually a good sign if I watch a film and it doesn't feel too long. If it's over 2 hours, obviously if it feels a long time, then it means I got a little bit bored. But I wouldn't say the word bored for this one. You had to do a lot of thinking with this one to join the dots. If you enjoy doing that sort of thing, that's fair enough. It's a 15 certificate. It's based on the novel of the same name, The Lost Daughter, by Elena Ferrante. The film stars some great stars. Olivia Colman is the lead in this. Dakota Johnson, Jessie Buckley, Paul Mescal, Dagmara Dominich, Jack Farthing, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Peter Sarsgaard, and Ed Harris. So quite a good cast. It had a limited theatrical release in the US on December the 17th, 2021, prior to streaming when I watched it on Netflix on December the 31st. So check your streaming site, but it's available here in the UK on Netflix. Check your site wherever you are. What's it about? Well, it's about Leda, or Leda. Leda is a middle-aged divorcee devoted to her work as an English teacher and to her 2 children. When her daughters leave home to be with their father in Canada, Leda anticipates a period of loneliness and longing. Instead, slightly embarrassed by the sensation, she feels liberated. No wonder. As if her life has become lighter, easier. She decides to take a holiday by the sea in a small coastal town in Greece, but after a few days of calm and quiet, things take a menacing turn. Leda encounters a family whose brash presence proves unsettling at times, even threatening when a small, seemingly meaningless event occurs. Leda is overwhelmed by memories of the difficult, unconventional choices she made as a mother and their consequences for herself. It's told really in 2 timelines as flashbacks to when she was young as well. And her family. The seemingly serene tale of a woman's pleasant rediscovery of herself soon becomes the story of a ferocious confrontation with an unsettled past. Sounds good. Sounds good psychological drama stuff. Is it any good? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, they loved it. Average rating of 7.9 out of 10, which is pretty good. And 184 reviewers, and 96% of them were very, very positive. 176 fresh and just 8 rotten. So I've not even included the rottens because they were hard to find. They certainly weren't from the main critics. Emily Zemmler, she liked it. She's from The Observer. She said, there is perhaps no relationship more fraught than that between a mother and her daughter. And in The Lost Daughter, that tension becomes so brittle it snaps. James Brandinelli is fresh as well. He's from Real Views. He says, although not much happens, true, during the course of Lost Daughter, the film's tone exerts a powerful spell. And the consensus, the little website consensus reads, a strikingly assured debut for writer-director Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Lost Daughter unites a brilliant cast in service of a daringly ambitious story. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes audience, they weren't as impressed. They do buck the trend in these little reviews today. 2.8 out of 5 for the Rotten Tomatoes audience. That's only 5.6. So not great. Not up there with the 7 and 8s that the critics are saying, is it really? Metacritic, the other critics site, well, they're just as healthy as well. 86 out of 100. 86 out of 100 they scored with 46 critics, so that's not bad. And it scored anywhere. The lowest it got was 75 out of 100. And of course, it went up to 100 out of 100. I don't believe it for 1 minute. Nothing gets 10 out of 10 or 100 out of 100, but there you go. Just to quote The Guardian's Zan Brooks, who gave it 80 out of 100. I'm not convinced on balance that Gyllenhaal's delicious drama is finally much more than a storm in a teacup. But what a cup, what a storm. When Hurricane Colman blows in from the sea, be sure your roof's in good shape and that all the windows are fastened. There you go. So praise for Olivia Colman, obviously. Internet Movie Database. So that's Joe Public as well, isn't it? Were they as dissatisfied as the Rotten Tomatoes audience seemed to be in the main? Well, not really, no, because it's averaging 6.8 out of 10. So that's quite good. That's back up there, not as high as the critics, but it's still back up there. And of those scores, 18,000 people, 18,601 scored this 6 or more, and only 5,313. Still a healthy wedge, isn't it? Scored it 5 or less. So 78% positivity based on that, if you look at those scores. Right, we come to Mr. Bernard, Mr. Cheerful, or Mr. Misery. Well, I'm a bit towards the misery today, guys, with this one. I mean, Olivia Colman is excellent. Of course, she's brilliant. I love watching Olivia Colman. But for me, the film didn't live up to some of the actors on the screen. I found it a little uncomfortable in parts as well, a bit strange, a bit odd. And yes, we're not told all the story. We have to interpret a lot of what's going on. And okay, that's how it's been done. But you know me, I like a film. I like to be entertained. I don't want to be thinking too much. I just want to enjoy it for what it is. I don't mind that the film is deliberately shot like this, and that's just how it's set out. And it's just not my favourite style of film where you have to join all the dots for yourself, etc., etc. Excuse me. There were good bits in it. There were muddle bits in it. And this is a film, for me, that plays right into the critics, for the critics. Like a piece of art. They can say how wonderful and clever it all is. Although sometimes it certainly goes over my head. I don't know about yours. A fair proportion of the public do appreciate it, so there you go. But I think it's far too clever for its own good. And I was disappointed despite enjoying 2 or 3 of the actors in it and the performances in it. The flashback story tells the story of our main protagonist and attempts to explain who she is and why she is the person she is now, of course, as this film unfolds. It pretty much does this, but that doesn't make it any more interesting as entertainment. If I'd gone to the cinema to watch it, yeah, I would have probably been a little let down with this. But as a freebie with my Netflix subscription, I pay for it anyway, so that's how I look at it. I know I'm paying for it, but I don't look at it like that with my subscription because I subscribe anyway. It was sort of bearable. It was okay. It was okay to just watch, and perhaps I could do other things while I was watching it in the background. But not one I can wholeheartedly recommend. I do love a good drama. It doesn't always have to have a great story. It doesn't have to always have the start, a beginning, a middle, and an end. But but it's a film. I want a film that actually tells me what's going on and actually fills in some of those gaps. I don't want to do it myself. This is a film where plenty does happen, and plenty has happened. But it's up to you and me to fill in the gaps. I'm sorry, but that's not a great interest to me of actually filling in the gaps of what has happened and what is happening, and putting the 2 and 2 together and making the 4. And it just didn't appeal to me at all. There's too much of that in this. So I won't give it a score. You know me, if it gets less than a 5, I'm not going to ridicule it by giving it a 2 or 3 or 4 out of 10 or something like that. So no score from me, guys, on this one. But as I say, I am slightly in the minority, but I just thought there's too much effort to be made with this. I think, as I say, I did enjoy the performances on screen, but the story's there. I said there's a good story there. I just think Miss Gyllenhaal could have padded it out a little bit and give us a little bit more information rather than relying us to get our brains into gear and think it all out for him. And I was still puzzled by certain events, even allowing for the fact that I probably knew what was going on. So there you go. I was disappointed. Let me know what you think, guys, anyway. But I'm not going to give this one a score today. But as I say, not a total disaster. I could do a couple of things while I was watching it. So there you go. It wasn't one of those films I had to put everything to one side and concentrate. That's for sure. It's nothing difficult. But as I said, not the greatest. But hey, that's how it is. Thanks for watching, guys. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. To me here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.